Some people wait for the perfect moment. Elon Musk creates it. In a world where most play it safe, Musk chooses the path of discomfort, failure, and relentless action, and turns them into stepping stones toward history-making achievements. He's proof that success isn't about having the perfect plan, but about having the courage to act, the resilience to endure, and the vision to keep going when everyone else says it's impossible. What follows are the brutal truths life taught him, the same truths that, if you dare to live by them, can transform your ambitions into reality. Embrace discomfort to grow is a principle that sits at the heart of nearly every great success story, and Elon Musk's journey is perhaps one of the clearest examples of it in the modern world. Discomfort, whether physical, emotional, or mental, is often seen as something to avoid, something to escape from as quickly as possible. Society teaches us to seek comfort, to create environments where everything feels safe, predictable, and easy. Yet, comfort rarely produces greatness. Comfort keeps us stagnant, repeating the same patterns, staying in the same safe zones, and avoiding anything that might cause us to feel uneasy. Discomfort, on the other hand, forces adaptation. It challenges us to think differently, to innovate, and to become someone capable of doing things we once believed were impossible. Elon Musk did not build companies like Tesla and SpaceX by staying in a place of ease. He deliberately placed himself in high-pressure, high-stakes situations where failure was not just a possibility, but a constant threat. This is the kind of environment that breeds resilience, creativity, and relentless problem-solving. When you willingly step into discomfort, you tap into a deeper part of your potential. The human brain adapts when it is forced to deal with new, difficult situations. Muscles grow when they are pushed to the point of strain. In the same way, mental and emotional strength develops when you face situations that stretch your limits. Elon Musk's willingness to endure sleepless nights, risk his personal fortune, and face public criticism shows how embracing discomfort can drive extraordinary results. He once described sleeping on the factory floor during Tesla's production crises, not as an act of desperation, but as a necessary step to understand the problems firsthand and solve them quickly. Most people in his position would have chosen to step back and delegate entirely, seeking comfort in distance. Instead, he leaned into the difficulty, showing that leadership often means standing at the very front of the storm. Embracing discomfort is not about seeking pain for its own sake. It's about recognizing that growth often hides behind the things we fear or dislike. Fear of failure, fear of embarrassment, fear of loss. These fears are powerful, but they also mark the path to transformation. Musk has repeatedly faced industries where the odds were stacked against him. The automotive industry was considered impossible to break into without billions in capital and decades of experience. The space industry was dominated by government agencies and a handful of aerospace giants. Yet, by choosing to walk into these uncomfortable arenas, Musk created breakthroughs that reshaped both fields. In your own life, embracing discomfort might not mean launching rockets or building electric cars, but it does mean doing the things you've been avoiding because they scare you. It means speaking up when it's easier to stay quiet, starting a project even when you're unsure it will succeed, or making changes in your habits that force you to grow. Discomfort is not the enemy. It is the training ground for strength, clarity, and achievement. Every time you push yourself beyond the familiar, you expand your capacity for what you can handle. Over time, what once felt terrifying becomes manageable, and what once felt impossible becomes part of your normal reality. Musk's story proves that those who seek growth over comfort end up creating lives of impact, innovation, and meaning. Choosing discomfort today is the surest way to create a better version of yourself tomorrow. Learn from failure relentlessly. is a mindset that separates those who merely dream from those who achieve extraordinary success. Failure is one of the most feared experiences in life, yet it is also one of the most powerful teachers. For many people, failure is seen as the end of the road, a sign that they are not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough to succeed. But for people like Elon Musk, failure is not a dead end. It is a data point. It is feedback from reality telling you what works, what doesn't, and what needs to change. Musk has repeatedly faced failures so massive they could have ended his career, yet he treated them as opportunities to refine his vision and improve his execution. When SpaceX experienced multiple rocket explosions in its early days, the easy choice would have been to walk away, cut the losses, and protect his reputation. Instead, Musk pored over the details, studied the engineering flaws, and returned with better designs. That resilience comes from understanding that failure is not a verdict. It is a lesson. To learn from failure relentlessly, you must first strip away the ego that makes failure feel like a personal attack. The truth is that failure is not a statement about your worth as a person. It is a neutral piece of information about your approach. If you let pride or embarrassment keep you from examining what went wrong, you will repeat the same mistakes over and over. Musk does the opposite. He treats every setback as a case study. Whether it is a manufacturing delay at Tesla, a missed deadline on a product launch, or a public relations disaster, he digs into the causes without letting shame cloud his judgment. This relentless pursuit of lessons is what allows him to move forward faster than his competitors, who may be too busy hiding their mistakes to actually learn from them. Learning from failure also requires speed. The faster you analyze a failure, the faster you can turn it into progress. Musk once said, "Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough." This mindset allows him to run experiments quickly, knowing that each failed attempt brings him closer to the solution. In industries where mistakes can cost millions, this might seem reckless, but the real danger lies in moving too slowly, letting the fear of failure paralyze decision-making. By failing fast and adjusting even faster, Musk creates a cycle of improvement that compounds over time. Each iteration is informed by the mistakes of the last, making success more likely with every attempt. There is also a psychological benefit to embracing failure as a teacher. It makes you more fearless. Once you have experienced failure and realized it didn't destroy you, you stop giving it so much power over your actions. Musk has endured financial near-collapse, public ridicule, and technical disasters, yet he keeps taking bigger risks. This is because every failure he has survived has reinforced the truth that he can recover, adapt, and continue moving forward. This courage is not the absence of fear. It is the willingness to act in spite of it, knowing that even if you stumble, you will rise stronger. In your own life, learning from failure relentlessly means replacing the question, "Why did this happen to me?" with, "What can I learn from this?" Every mistake, no matter how small, contains information that can guide your next move. If you fail a test, you learn which areas need more study. If a business venture collapses, you learn which strategies were flawed. If a relationship ends, you learn about communication, boundaries, or compatibility. The key is to treat each failure like an experiment, not as a personal condemnation. It is also important to document your failures and the lessons they teach. Musk's teams at SpaceX and Tesla keep detailed records of every malfunction, every error, and every missed target. These logs become invaluable resources for avoiding similar mistakes in the future. In your personal or professional life, keeping a failure journal can serve the same purpose. Write down what happened, why it happened, and what you will do differently next time. Over time, you will build a playbook of lessons that keeps you from repeating the past and accelerates your growth. Ultimately, learning from failure relentlessly is about changing your relationship with mistakes. It means seeing them not as proof of weakness, but as stepping stones toward mastery. It means refusing to let setbacks break your momentum. Musk's success is not the result of avoiding failure. It is the result of failing more than most people are willing to, and then extracting every ounce of value from those failures. If you adopt this mindset, you will not only recover from setbacks faster, but you will also start seeking out challenges that push you beyond your limits. And the more challenges you face, the more opportunities you have to learn, adapt, and achieve. Failure, when treated as a teacher, is not a barrier to success. It is the very path to it. Think long-term. Act today is a principle that can transform not only the way you approach your goals, but also the scale of what you can achieve. The problem with most people's thinking is that it is either too short-sighted or too abstract. Some live only for immediate comfort and avoid anything that requires delayed gratification, while others get lost in planning and never take action. Elon Musk stands out because he bridges both worlds. He dreams decades ahead, but works as if every day is critical. His companies are built around visions that span far beyond a single lifetime, like making humanity a multiplanetary species or transforming the global energy system. Yet, he doesn't just talk about these visions. He spends each day making tangible progress toward them. This balance between thinking far into the future and acting with urgency in the present is what allows him to make breakthroughs while others hesitate. Thinking long-term forces you to aim higher. When your vision extends beyond the next month or even the next year, you stop chasing only quick wins and start building something with enduring impact. Musk did not create Tesla to simply sell cars. His mission was to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. SpaceX was not just about launching rockets. It was about enabling humans to live on Mars. These are goals that require decades of effort, countless innovations, and an unshakable commitment to a bigger picture. The long-term perspective ensures that every decision made today aligns with a future worth working toward. Without such a perspective, it's easy to get distracted by short-term trends or discouraged by temporary setbacks. However, long-term thinking without immediate action is useless. It's easy to romanticize big dreams while procrastinating on the hard work they demand. Musk avoids this trap by acting today, every single day, on the things that move him closer to his vision. During Tesla's production challenges, he didn't sit in an office theorizing about solutions for the future. He was on the factory floor fixing problems in real time. At SpaceX, he didn't simply imagine rockets that could land and be reused. He ran relentless test flights until the idea became a reality. Acting today doesn't mean you will see instant results. It means you are making progress that compounds over time, ensuring your future vision is not just a fantasy, but a destination you are actively approaching. The beauty of acting today toward a long-term vision is that small, consistent steps create massive results. Many people overestimate what they can do in a day, but underestimate what they can achieve in a decade. Musk's ventures didn't revolutionize their industries overnight. Tesla's first car was expensive and produced in small numbers, but it was a stepping stone to affordable electric vehicles. SpaceX's early rockets failed, but each failure led to improvements that eventually made reusable rockets possible. The long-term plan provided direction, and the daily action provided momentum. Without both, neither Tesla nor SpaceX would exist as they do today. In your own life, thinking long-term and acting today means defining where you want to be years from now and asking yourself, what can I do today to get closer to that? It might mean starting a savings account for a future investment, dedicating an hour each day to learning a skill you'll need for your dream job, or building relationships that will matter in your career 5 years from now. It's about replacing passive waiting with active preparation. This principle also requires patience and resilience. Long-term goals inevitably involve slow progress at times, and without the discipline to keep acting today, it's easy to lose momentum. There will be days when your actions feel insignificant compared to the size of your dream. But this is where faith in the process matters. Musk's work on Mars colonization might seem impossibly far away, but each launch, each test, and each engineering breakthrough is a brick in the foundation of that future. Thinking long-term while acting today is how extraordinary visions are built in the real world. It's not about sudden leaps, but about relentless, focused action over time. When you adopt this mindset, you stop waiting for the right moment and start building the moment yourself. The future you dream about is created not in grand gestures, but in the decisions you make and the actions you take today. Outwork and outlast everyone is not just a motivational phrase. It is a survival strategy in the world of big goals and fierce competition. Talent matters, resources matter, but there is a point where sheer persistence and work ethic become the deciding factors between those who succeed and those who fade away. Elon Musk's career is a prime example of this principle in action. His reputation for working 80 to 100 hours a week is not a myth. It is a conscious choice to put in more hours of focused, high-quality effort than most of his competitors can sustain. In industries where failure is common and setbacks are inevitable, being the one who keeps showing up, keeps pushing forward, and keeps grinding long after others have quit can make all the difference. Outworking everyone means more than just putting in long hours. It means making every hour count. Musk does not fill his time with meaningless tasks. He structures his day in 5-minute blocks to maximize productivity. This kind of intense scheduling is not about being busy for the sake of being busy. It's about ensuring that every moment contributes to the bigger goal. Whether he's reviewing engineering designs, meeting with investors, or overseeing production lines, he approaches his work with the mindset that no detail is too small to matter. This attention to detail, combined with relentless hours, creates a compounding effect. Small improvements made over thousands of hours translate into massive progress over time. Outlasting everyone is equally important because the road to major achievements is almost always longer and harder than expected. People get excited at the start of a big project, but enthusiasm fades when the novelty wears off and the grind sets in. Setbacks, delays, and failures discourage most people, leading them to quit before they see results. Musk's ability to outlast his competitors comes from his willingness to endure the long, often exhausting middle phase of any venture. When Tesla was on the brink of bankruptcy, when SpaceX had burned through multiple rocket prototypes without success, and when critics were calling him a reckless dreamer, he simply refused to stop. This refusal to quit, even when the odds were crushing, is what allowed him to eventually reach breakthroughs that others never lived to see. Outworking and outlasting everyone also demands an uncommon level of resilience. It means being willing to do the unglamorous work for as long as it takes. Many people are drawn to the idea of success, but they shy away from the years of hard, repetitive, often thankless tasks that success requires. Musk's work is not all about flashy product launches or bold public announcements. Most of it happens behind the scenes, in grueling meetings, endless troubleshooting sessions, and meticulous problem-solving. This is where the real work is done, and this is where most competitors lose patience and walk away. In your own life, applying this principle means making a commitment to outwork and outlast your competition, no matter what field you are in. It means staying later, learning more, practicing harder, and doing the things others skip because they are inconvenient or uncomfortable. It means not giving up just because progress feels slow or because challenges keep piling up. Success is rarely a straight, smooth climb. It's more often a test of who can keep moving when the terrain gets rough. The truth is, there will always be people with more natural talent, more money, or more connections than you. But if you can work harder, and persist longer than they can, you give yourself an advantage they cannot take away. Effort compounds just like money does. The more of it you invest over time, the greater your returns. Musk's story proves that the combination of relentless work ethic and the refusal to quit is one of the most powerful forces in achieving extraordinary goals. Outworking and outlasting everyone doesn't guarantee instant success, but it does guarantee that when the dust settles, you will still be standing, still pushing forward, and still moving closer to your vision long after most people have walked away. Turn criticism into fuel is a mindset that can transform one of life's most uncomfortable experiences into one of your greatest advantages. Most people react to criticism with defensiveness, anger, or self-doubt. They see it as an attack, something meant to tear them down, and in some cases, that's true. Criticism can be harsh, unfair, and delivered with bad intentions. But the most successful people learn to separate the emotion from the information. They use criticism not as a reason to stop, but as a resource to grow stronger. Elon Musk has faced more public criticism than most people could handle. From journalists questioning his leadership, to experts doubting his technology, to investors calling his ventures reckless, the noise around him has been constant. Yet instead of letting it crush him, Musk studies it, filters it, and uses whatever is useful to improve his work. Turning criticism into fuel starts with changing your perspective on it. Instead of seeing it as proof that you are failing, see it as evidence that you are doing something that matters. If no one is criticizing you, it often means you are not taking enough risks or making enough impact. Musk's bold ventures, whether it's creating electric cars when the market laughed at them or building rockets with the goal of colonizing Mars, have attracted enormous skepticism. But every doubt voiced by his critics became an opportunity to address weaknesses, refine strategies, and prove them wrong through results. This mindset turns criticism into a form of motivation. It's also important to recognize that not all criticism is created equal. Some of it is noise, born from jealousy, fear, or ignorance. Some of it, however, contains valuable truths about areas where you can improve. The key is to develop the skill of filtering out the useless negativity while keeping the constructive insights. Musk has repeatedly sought out the opinions of people who disagree with him, not because he enjoys conflict, but because opposing viewpoints often reveal blind spots. This willingness to listen, even when it's uncomfortable, allows him to adapt faster than those who surround themselves only with people who agree with them. Using criticism as fuel requires emotional discipline. It's natural to feel defensive when someone points out flaws in your work, but the ability to pause, detach from your ego, and ask, "Is there something useful here?" is what turns an insult into a stepping stone. Musk's career has been filled with moments where public opinion was against him, when Tesla missed production deadlines, when SpaceX rockets exploded, when investors predicted bankruptcy. But each time, he addressed the criticisms head-on. He didn't simply ignore them. He investigated the root causes and used that information to make improvements. The same people who once criticized him often ended up praising him later when those changes led to success. In your own life, turning criticism into fuel means adopting a posture of curiosity rather than defensiveness. If a teacher, boss, or peer points out something they think you're doing wrong, resist the urge to argue and instead ask for clarity. Seek specifics, not just vague opinions. The more detail you can get, the more actionable the feedback becomes. Then, instead of stewing over the sting of criticism, channel that energy into making concrete changes. Even if the criticism is delivered poorly or with bad intentions, you can still decide to use it as motivation to prove to yourself, and maybe to them, that you can rise above it. The truth is, you will be criticized no matter what you do. Play it safe and avoid taking risks, and people will still find something to judge. Take bold action, and the criticism will be louder, but so will the potential rewards. Musk's story shows that criticism is not a sign you are on the wrong path. Often, it's a sign you are on a path worth taking. If you can take the sting of those words and convert it into fuel for action, you'll not only silence the critics, you'll thank them for pushing you further than you would have gone on your own. In the end, the lessons drawn from Elon Musk's journey are not just about business or technology. They are about the mindset that turns impossible visions into reality. Embracing discomfort forces you to grow beyond your limits. Learning from failure relentlessly transforms setbacks into stepping stones. Thinking long-term while acting today bridges the gap between dreams and execution. Outworking and outlasting everyone ensures you remain standing when others give up. Turning criticism into fuel converts opposition into momentum. These principles, when lived consistently, create a foundation for extraordinary achievement in any field. Musk's success is not the product of luck or perfect circumstances. It is the result of intentional choices, unshakable persistence, and the courage to keep moving forward despite every challenge. If you take these truths and apply them with the same intensity, you may not build rockets or revolutionize industries, but you will undoubtedly create a life defined by growth, impact, and the satisfaction of knowing you gave everything you had to your vision.